Cancer dietitian reveals foods she'd never eat. Shocking plant-based item on blacklist. Hey everyone, it's Kai Hoa, and I'm so glad you're here today. I'm joined by the amazing Nicole Andrews, a registered dietitian and nutritionist who specializes in oncology. You might know Nicole from her incredibly informative TikTok videos about cancer prevention through diet. Nicole's evidence-based approach to nutrition has made her a trusted voice in the health and wellness community. Recently, she went viral for sharing a list of foods and drinks she personally avoids to minimize her cancer risk. And let me tell you, some of the items on her list might surprise you. In this video, Nicole is breaking down her blacklist even further, explaining the science behind her choices and offering practical tips on how we can all make healthier choices. Let's dive in. Sorry, no happy hour. Alcohol's linked to cancer. Now, I know this first one might be a bummer for some of you, but I have to start with alcohol. And yes, that includes red wine. While some studies suggest potential benefits of red wine in moderation, the overall evidence points to alcohol, in all its forms, increasing the risk of several types of cancer. This is because when your body breaks down alcohol, it produces a harmful substance called acetaldehyde. Acetaldehyde damages DNA and interferes with your body's ability to repair that damage, which is a key factor in cancer development. We're talking about an increased risk of 6 different cancers: mouth, throat, esophageal, breast, liver, and colorectal. And the more you drink, the higher the risk. So, while that occasional glass of wine might seem harmless, it's important to remember that any amount of alcohol consumption comes with risks. Instead of reaching for that alcoholic beverage, why not try a delicious mocktail? There are so many creative and refreshing options available these days. Your body will thank you for it in the long run. Pepperoni and processed meats. A dangerous love affair? Next up, we have processed meats. This category includes favorites like pepperoni, bacon, sausage, hot dogs, and deli meats. I know, they're delicious and convenient, but they also come with a hefty price tag when it comes to our health. The World Health Organization classifies processed meat as a Group 1 carcinogen, meaning there is strong evidence linking it to cancer. Specifically, we're talking about colorectal cancer, one of the most common and deadly cancers worldwide. The problem with processed meats lies in the way they are preserved. They often contain chemicals like nitrates and nitrites, which can form cancer-causing compounds in the body. And here's the kicker. There's no safe level of consumption when it comes to processed meats and cancer risk. Deli meats convenience at what cost? Now you might be thinking, okay, so pepperoni and bacon are out, but what about my turkey sandwich? Unfortunately, deli meats, even those marketed as lean or low-fat, fall into the same category as processed meats. They often contain the same preservatives, nitrates, and nitrites that increase the risk of bowel cancer. And let's not forget about the high sodium content in most deli meats, which can contribute to high blood pressure and other health problems. So, what's the alternative? Instead of reaching for that pre-packaged ham or turkey, why not try making your own roasted chicken or turkey breast at home? You'll have complete control over the ingredients, and you can season it to your liking. Plus, leftovers make for great salads and wraps throughout the week. Chapter 4. Let's move on to another culprit, sugary drinks. We're talking about soda, fruit juices, sports drinks, sweetened teas, and even those fancy coffee concoctions loaded with syrups and whipped cream. Now, these drinks don't directly cause cancer, but they contribute to a major risk factor: weight gain, especially around the midsection. Excess body fat, particularly visceral fat stored around our organs, leads to chronic inflammation and hormonal imbalances, which can fuel cancer cell growth. Plus, sugary drinks are simply empty calories. They provide minimal nutritional value and displace the consumption of nutrient-rich foods that can actually protect against cancer. Chapter 5. Remember our discussion about processed meats? Well, hot dogs deserve a special shout-out in this category. These summertime staples are often made with a mixture of processed meats, fillers, and additives, making them a double whammy when it comes to cancer risk. The high-heat grilling method often used for hot dogs can also create heterocyclic amines, or HCAs, carcinogenic compounds formed when meat is cooked at high temperatures. But don't despair, grilling enthusiasts. You can still enjoy a delicious cookout while minimizing your cancer risk. Instead of traditional hot dogs, try using raw sausage meat made with lean protein and whole grains, and grill them over medium heat to reduce HCA formation. And don't forget to pile on those cancer-fighting veggies like onions, peppers, and mushrooms. Chapter 6. Now let's talk about added sugar. And I'm not just talking about the sugar you spoon into your coffee or sprinkle on your cereal. I'm talking about the hidden sugars lurking in processed foods, sauces, condiments, and even seemingly healthy options like yogurt and granola bars. Just like sugary drinks, added sugar contributes to weight gain, inflammation, and insulin resistance, all of which increase your risk of developing cancer. The American Heart Association recommends limiting added sugar to no more than 25 grams per day for women and 36 grams per day for men. But here's the thing, the average American consumes a whopping 77 grams of added sugar per day. That's 3 times the recommended amount. Now let's address the elephant in the room, red meat. I know this one is often met with mixed opinions, and for good reason. Red meat can be a good source of protein, iron, and other essential nutrients. However, research shows that consuming more than 18 ounces of red meat per week is associated with an increased risk of colorectal cancer. This is likely due to the heme iron found in red meat, which can damage the lining of the colon and promote tumor growth. Additionally, the way red meat is cooked can also influence its cancer-causing potential. High-heat cooking methods like grilling and pan-frying can produce HCAs, those carcinogenic compounds we talked about earlier. Chapter 8. Coffee Cravings, Navigating the Caffeine Conundrum. Good news, coffee lovers! Coffee itself isn't linked to an increased risk of cancer. In fact, some studies suggest that coffee may actually have protective effects against certain types of cancer, like liver and endometrial cancer. However, it's all about how you take your coffee. Those sugary syrups, whipped cream, and artificial sweeteners can quickly turn your morning pick-me-up into a health hazard. Remember, added sugar is added sugar, regardless of what it's added to. So, how can you enjoy your coffee without the added risk? Opt for smaller sizes, skip the sugary add-ins, and sweeten your coffee naturally with a touch of stevia or monk fruit sweetener. And if you're feeling adventurous, try adding spices like cinnamon or nutmeg for a flavor boost. Chapter 9. Not all grains are created equal. Choosing whole grains for cancer prevention. Let's talk about grains. Not all grains are created equal. Refined grains like white bread, white rice, and pastries have been stripped of their bran and germ, which contain valuable fiber, vitamins, and minerals. On the other hand, whole grains like brown rice, quinoa, oats, and whole wheat bread contain all 3 parts of the grain kernel, making them nutritional powerhouses. Why are whole grains so important for cancer prevention? Well, for starters, they are excellent sources of fiber, which helps regulate digestion, promotes gut health, and may even help reduce the risk of colorectal cancer. Whole grains also contain lignans, plant compounds that have antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. Chapter 10. Plant-based milks versus cow's milk, debunking the dairy dilemma. Now, this last one might come as a surprise to some of you. While plant-based milks have become increasingly popular in recent years, I personally prefer cow's milk, and here's why. Cow's milk is a good source of calcium, vitamin D, and other essential nutrients that play a role in maintaining bone health and reducing the risk of certain types of cancer, including colorectal cancer. While plant-based milks can be fortified with these nutrients, they don't naturally contain them in the same amounts as cow's milk. Now, I want to be clear that I'm not saying plant-based milks are bad for you. If you have a dairy allergy or intolerance, or if you simply prefer the taste or ethical implications of plant-based milks, then by all means, continue to enjoy them. Just be sure to choose unsweetened varieties and check the nutrition label to ensure they are fortified with calcium and vitamin D. Outro. Make informed choices for a healthier future. Wow, we've covered a lot of ground today. As Nicole has shown us, making informed choices about the foods we eat and drink can have a significant impact on our overall health and well-being, especially when it comes to cancer risk. Remember, about 1 in 3 cancer cases are thought to be preventable through lifestyle changes, including diet. By reducing our intake of processed meats, sugary drinks, added sugar and alcohol, and by prioritizing whole grains, fruits, vegetables, and lean protein sources, we can empower ourselves to take control of our health. Thank you so much for joining us today. We hope you found this information helpful. Be sure to subscribe to my channel for more evidence-based health and nutrition tips. And don't forget to check out Nicole's incredible work